Fresh, that's Kodak. Killing these niggas, you know that. And 56 nights crazy. I think me and S go crazy.
Yeah.
I think me and Young go crazy.
Yeah.
I did 56 bras on the European tour and they was all crazy. I took 56 bars all on one.
And this chick has audacity to call it ghetto. First of all, the word ghetto is ghetto. You know, just say low class. Second of all, it's like the people that say, when you say moist and they're like, I don't like that word. Shut the fuck up. Excuse my
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Benny Loves You, a British-American film that premiered at film festivals back in 2019. Benny Loves You belongs to the killer toy subgenre, which includes the Child's Play series and a whole lot of full moon features. Like many of those movies, Benny Loves You is a horror comedy, with a lot of its humor coming from the absurdity of the titular killer toy. This movie is about as indie
shit, my bad.
as it gets, created entirely by one man named Carl Holt. Carl Holt! Holt wrote it, directed it, produced it, stars in it, helped do the cinematography, and even edited the goddamn thing. Damn. Oh wait, he also composed the score, did the impressive visual effects, and voiced Benny. Taking on so many roles in a production is usually ill-advised, but Holt—
Yo, that is this is what I'm talking about. This is the mode that I'm trying to be in. Yo, no, I'm gonna be in. I'm done with all that trash shit. This is it right here.
Holt had always wanted to make a movie and said he had a midlife crisis when he turned 40 and still hadn't gotten around to doing it.
There was a case of, if I'm ever going to do it, now I'm going to do it.
And so Holt spent the next 5 years making Benny Loves You, using mostly friends and family as crew. Though he had used an Elmo doll a decade prior in his short film Eddie Loves You, for his feature he designed an original character named Benny. I am continuously impressed by how good Benny looks in the movie. It's hard to tell that it's not a real puppet. These are the kinds of visual effects most low-budget horror films would kill to have. And I love Benny's cute design, so I'm thrilled the distribution company sent me a Benny in the mail along with a copy of the film. I had never heard of this movie before they sent it to me, but I was so taken by the effects and kills, I decided to cover it on the show. I also found Holt surprisingly effective as an actor and a director. He gives his scenes a fun style and suspense that work as a loving tribute to the horror genre, without ever veering into obnoxious on-the-nose references. That said, the writing and humor left me unable to love the movie. The story is a mess, with a lot of montages serving as patchwork. The leading lady love interest is bereft of autonomy.
Is this border on the whole time? Like, is this too small for y'all? Fuck it.
And the weird sense of humor
is it loud or not?
Often doesn't land for me, especially when it focuses on child abuse and killing animals. It's dark humor that feels more mean than funny sometimes. While you watch this kill count though, I need you to keep in mind that making a movie is hard. It's difficult no matter what movie it is, and no matter what budget you have. For one dude to do everything Holt did with practically zero money is nothing short of incredible. I'm gonna be making criticisms and jokes because that's what I do, and because as a movie, that's what it deserves. Good faith engagement. But no matter how much of Benny Loves You doesn't work for me, Carl Holt did the thing. He made a movie. That's more than I can say. All I've done so far is make a pretty solid YouTube series and land some kick-ass sponsors. Oh hey, speaking of which, I never thought I'd fall in love with bars of soap, but with some 3D, but you had a bar.
When am I gonna get a sponsor?
Let me show you. He doesn't want script killing, he does.
Okay. Get into the kills.
The movie begins with a screaming brat. Okay, God! This nightmare child Ashley doesn't want her smelly old bear Todd anymore, and for that infraction, she must pay. This cold open is great, with the colored lights and dry ice smoke coming out of the toy box. In fact, these first 5 minutes would work real well as a short film on their own.
So wait, Penny comes alive because she throws a fit? Is that what it is?
Nightmare child Ashley doesn't want her smelly old bear Todd anymore, and
okay, so she doesn't want Todd.
For that infraction, she must pay. This cold open is great, with the colored lights and dry ice smoke coming out of the toy box. In fact, these first 5 minutes would work real well as a short film on their own. Todd comes back from the trash to torment Ashley, all while repeating his catchphrase. You're special. Cheerily chanting special, Todd drags Ashley into her closet, and this movie has the guts.
Yo, I thank God every day that 1, I'm a male, 2, I'm me, 3, I'm me and my name is Carlos. Carlos ain't that bad of a name. Yeah, it could be something better, like, I don't know, Cosmo, Christian, Louboutin, something exotic. But it's like, it's not a lame sounding name though. You know what I mean? Carlos is Carlos. You know, matter of fact, look, let me prove y'all something. Carlos Urban. It's not something like Todd. Look at this. Look at this. What does it say? Huh? The perfect male specimen. Yep. He's smart, funny, charming, and quite the sexual deviant. Yo, chat about devious. Carlos will make your heart song and soar while making your wetter than the Niagara Falls. Carlos is heritage is very keen. Carlos is at making others happy. Okay, now for those of y'all that are thinking, well, maybe a Carlos wrote this, and maybe these 1,537 likes are Carlos. Let's look for one that's like, nah, cool. The best guy you'll ever meet. A funny, mellow jackass. Cause the best thing that ever happened to a woman. A man who is quiet but very funny once you get to know him. One of the sexiest, half Latino, half European man you'll ever meet. He's a wonderful guy. Yo, I mean, this Carlos guy just does not miss. Look, I went to the 5th page. A huge penis, 7 to 9 bitches or even longer. Yo, a very meaning to pursue. I don't know what that means. A dildo, Athena pleasure women, the most amazing man in the world, a Mexican who can't find his car. Can you fetch me? Okay, that doesn't make sense. That's just racist.
To do what most movies don't. It kills a kid that not only kills her, but takes out her freaking eyes. Hot damn! Didn't see that one coming. Our proper story begins with voiceover narration from Jack. He works at a toy company where no one likes his ideas, even though this disco robot is pretty cool. Except that it was somehow accidentally named AIDS. Yeah, not all the humor works in this movie, although I do like George Colley as Jack's smarmy co-worker Richard.
It's Washard, actually.
Huge JP from Grandma's Boy energy. Jack has a date with Tara, whom he calls stunningly bland, a bold charge coming from a dude whose bedroom decor is still stuck in adolescence. The sight of it damn near turns Tara into a final girl. Jack's turning 35 today, but still lives with his parents in their giant kick-ass home in the middle of nowhere. I can't blame him too much though. His parents look awesome. I'd love to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Wait, Dad, watch out! Oh, what? No, I love that dad. Shit. Well, at least
way
hey, Mom,
he's
wait,
dead
watch out!
now.
Oh my God! Yo,
Oh my
Jack,
God.
your awesome parents just got killed, dude. 10 months later, Jack lives by his lonesome and is having trouble keeping up with the house's
When does Benny
maintenance
come
and
out?
mortgage. He tries working late to earn a promotion, which only earns him derision from Richard. That guy's riding high
You
thanks to
want
Roscoe,
Benny.
his impressive robot that earned Richard Design of the Year. Jack sees his boss Ron about the promotion, but since his toy designs are more juvenile than his bedroom decorations, Ron tells him he's fired instead.
It's just business. Sorry.
When Jack asks for mercy,
Imagine asking for a raise and then getting fired. Damn.
Ron rehires him at a lower wage, and for that, he forces Jack to be grateful.
I just gave you a job. Give me a smile.
Jack decides he'll try being an adult human. He puts on an adult human
Hey,
costume
yo.
and accepts that he can't keep living in this huge house all by himself. To make it more appealing to buyers, he cleans up his bedroom and packs away most of his toys, some of which were really Carl Holt's from his childhood. There's only one bright red bear that manages to give Jack pause.
Benny loves you.
Aw, it's Benny, and he loves you. Hell yeah. A flashback shows that
Like
when
Chucky.
Jack was but a lad, he had a pretty big monster problem. Thing was on a
Yo, I'm
first-name
not
basis
fucker.
with him.
Yo, no.
Jack's mom, dressed up looking like a disco ball, gave him Benny as a protector, making Benny kind of like Rex, only he occasionally makes a questionable moan.
Oh, wow.
The first
Hey,
time I
yo.
heard that was from the Benny they sent me in the mail, and I was not expecting it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Benny, calm down, buddy.
Although Jack doesn't mind Benny's exclamations of ecstasy, he is trying to be more adult, so into the rubbish bin Benny the bear goes. And yeah, they say that thing's a bear, even though it's a dog if I've ever seen one. Put it behind a piano and it's fucking Ralph. That night, as a storm rages on outside, a smoke and light show portends the arrival of a killer plushie. Benny cuts the lights out and leads Jack to a display of death. He's murdered all of Jack's other stuffed animals. Even though Benny's the only survivor, and he's shot like a horror movie killer, Jack doesn't know he's responsible yet. He calls the police during an homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh God, someone murdered all my teddies. Sorry.
The cops who come over are a good cop and a bad cop, but they don't do much other than insult Jack for being a loner and eat his biscuits that he doesn't keep in a box or anything? What the fuck? Now, before we leave Act 1, we're gonna need to introduce a love interest. So, here she is. Her name is Dawn, and she just got hired as a tech.
Like how long each one of these are taking.
Though Claire Cartwright plays her well, Dawn is one of the most perfunctory romantic interests I've seen in quite a while. There is no reason for her to be into this guy, but she's thirsty for him after their first conversation.
You provide the toys, I provide the back end.
Jack racks his brain for ideas.
Hey, yo. See, this is how I felt the whole day. You know what I mean? But if it wasn't, I'm telling you, it's a blessing and a curse. My finger is so ugly right now. I hate looking at it. Like, it's just, I'm so fascinated. But it's like, I just don't, it's like, you know, it's whatever, you know, I just don't feel it. You know what I mean?
Impress Ron and
I just be smiling,
but by the time the weekend comes, he's still got nothing but piss. Well, Jack, 2 heads are better than 1, so it's a good thing you've got a Saturday study buddy in bed right now. It's the head of this dude, David, who helped convince Jack to sell his house earlier. Benny bounces in, eager to show off his work to Papa. Yep, Benny loves Jack, I guess, even though we watched him throw the doll out, and the tagline of the movie is "Don't throw him out." I thought Benny would be pissed, but instead, he loves Jack. He even writes it on the wall in blood, the blood from David's headless body and viscera, which is littered all over the kitchen. This is brutal, Benny! Jack ditches the finger food and cleans up the mess in a montage, while Benny bounces around, intestines in hand. I love the way Holt animated Benny's movement. It looks like a kid is bouncing him along in pretend walking. The doll's floppy features were intentionally designed to emphasize that idea. Very creative motion instead of just having him walk around like a person like most films would do. Jack is in utter shock at the Killy Bear, but Benny's just excited to have Jack interested in him again.
Oh, wow.
Maybe a little too excited. Like a loyal dog, Benny does everything as a sweet gesture, even when it's grotesque or annoying. Quit spilling all that beer, Bear! Because of Benny's insistence that he loves Jack,
Benny loves you.
Jack agrees to let him stay, as long as there are no more messy murders. That shit takes multiple montages to clean up, and all Benny does is sit there and watch. They take care of David's body, and Jack sits down to work again, as Benny busies himself with...
Let me see if I can find. I think he did.
Ron gives him the go-ahead to proceed, so he starts working on the concept with a whole nother montage. During it, Benny dresses up in costumes like a 90s Halloween McNugget buddy, and Jack grows closer and closer to Dawn. We never hear what they're saying that makes them grow closer, because who needs dialogue when you're having a montage? Oh, Benny, what the fuck, bro? Don't kill cats during the montage. I bet this sassy gorilla guy wouldn't kill cats, Benny. He would just sing schoolyard tunes.
No, no disrespect. Disrespect. I just like, I mean, like, fuck. You know, your boy has gone through this too much. It got me fucking annoyed. I can't put in no effort no more. I hate Virgos.
Dawn designed this gorilla when she wasn't too busy lusting over Jack, and she invites herself over to his house that weekend so she can get a taste of that protagonist meat. Ron pressures Jack into dog sitting the same night, so Puppy Precious there might have to witness some man-eating. Since Jack's house is still up for sale, a realtor shows it to that woman Tara from earlier. It's a scene that's edited in a real funky way, where we see what's about to happen to her in quick flashes from the future. I understand that it's done to create jokes by contrast.
Nothing to be afraid of here.
But it's still weird. I don't like it. The realtor Phil is killed by Benny with a signpost that goes through his back and causes a whole bunch of blood to spray out. That's a lot of volume right there. He's not completely killed until a few minutes later after Benny pours hot tea all over his face. This kill required fake blood that evidently didn't taste good.
Very nice.
With the end of a post attached to actor David Wayman's chest, they sprayed fake blood all over the place, including onto Tara's actor Lydia Horahan. Since Holt shot this film at a friend's house free of charge, they had to make sure to keep things as clean as possible and paint over any walls they messed up. You can actually see protective plastic covering the door in this scene, but only if you're looking for it. After getting scalded by Benny, Tara climbs a ladder into the attic. Benny figures out that she's up there, but there's no time to pursue her. Jack is home and Benny's gotta show off his work again. Jack gets pissed at the Benster since he has to bury another body in his backyard, so when his date night rolls around, he decides to put Benny in a bin in the basement. Sorry, little guy, but Jack's late for another montage. This one showing him getting ready for his date with Dawn. His dinner of chips and beans leaves a lot to be desired. Benny frees himself through the power of gravity and peruses the murder tool options on display.
This girl's name is Dawn?
Ron shows up to drop off Precious, and oh man, you know this movie's gonna kill that dog. Seems to get a kick out of stuff like that. Sure enough, after Benny makes his selection, he kills the poor pug by throwing a hatchet into its back. Dawn and Jack chat by the fire, and she reveals that she too lost a parent on her birthday. When she was young, she had a doll named Amy that her dad thought was dumb. The night before her birthday, her dad was found dead at the bottom of the stairs, apparently having tripped over Amy, who subsequently disappeared. I love this tragic backstory as a nod to Gremlins, but note that since we never see or meet Dawn's dad, I'm not gonna put him on the count. Kinda like how I don't put dogs on the count, no matter how much the movie likes to show us their dead bodies. Jesus, movie. The dead dog prop was made by Alistair Wright, who was hired last minute to replace their original effects artist.
About 2 weeks into shooting, he had a nervous breakdown and ran off with all the money.
Wright then makeup artist Claudette Frouchier did the X and paper plenty bloody as is. Dawn finds Benny and fawns over how cute he is, and when Benny starts to look stabby, Jack says he doesn't like Dawn to get him to stop. So I guess Benny kills people who annoy Jack and people who get too close to him. But he doesn't hurt Jack, even though he's thrown him out twice, and the tagline of the movie says not to throw him out. Okay, Dawn still wants to jump Jack's bones, but he's got a dead dog to deal with. Good thing she waits for him in his bedroom alone for what seems like at least a half hour. Jack foils another one of Benny's attempts to kill Dawn, but in the process has to act like he was protecting her from Precious. That leads to him beating the shit out of this dog corpse and tossing it out the window right as Ron arrives to pick the pet up. Okay, good. We can be done with the extended dead dog sequence. At least it gave us a cameo from Carl's mom Shirley. The incident gets Jack canned from work, so even though Benny wants to celebrate his birthday, he tells the bear to leave him alone and stop ruining his life. Benny doesn't give up so easily, and that night he bugs Jack, acting just like Lucy does sometimes.
Play with me.
Not now, Lucy, I need to sleep. Benny leads Jack downstairs where he ta-das him a birthday gift. It's Ron. Benny's kidnapped him since he's somehow able to drive, and now Jack's boss is in his living room wearing a big red bow, looking like a pissed off Kiki. Jack decides to blackmail Ron for a promotion using a picture of him that would definitely get Jack in legal trouble. Some parts of this movie just don't make any fucking sense. Jack starts having fun on his power trip.
Now tell me you love being my bitch.
I love being your bitch.
But Benny doesn't want Jack to have any other playthings, so he murders Ron by throwing a garden tool into his neck. He then procures the ultimate gift, Ron's heart fresh from his chest cavity.
Benny fucked it up.
Sick of the bloodshed, Jack nails Benny in a coffin and buries him in the woods. There, Jack. You can try to cheer up with this teary mini montage. It's not quite full length, but don't worry, montage maniacs. There will be more. There will be more. Dawn shows up at Jack's house and helps him clean up dog guts because, wait, what's that rustling in the woods? It can't be. By God, it is! Another montage! This one features loud electronic music that was, you guessed it, composed by Carl Holt. This man's moxie is impressive. During this montage, Jack and Dawn have a bloody good time cleaning up, while Benny has a dark night of the soul walking home by himself in the rain. I really can't believe how many montages this thing has. Oh hey Tara, how you doing? Still in the attic? That's cool. If that attic looks weird to you, it's because it's not real. I didn't notice it when I watched the movie, but this entire entire setting is CG. Benny Loves You was filmed back in 2014 and 15, before Holt spent 4 years doing all the editing, visual effects work, and sound design. He did it all on his home computer, animating segments and then letting them render for days. Sometimes he'd leave his PC rendering over a weekend, only to see that a small mistake was made. Then he'd have to start all over again. Benny acquires a burglar's mask and tries putting up warnings that he's going to kill Dawn, but she doesn't notice him, not even when he's hitching a ride on.
This is gonna be an editing nightmare. Hold up. Are we still live? Yo, we're live. By the way, shout out to the YouTube peeps, we're live.
On her car to the office. Holt says that there are only 2 or 3 shots in the movie that used a real Benny puppet. The rest is CG. I'm pretty sure one of the practical shots they used is this hilarious one of Benny on a lawnmower. Jack finds out that Benny's planning to murder his girlfriend, so he runs to the office where they laugh at him for saying Benny's a dangerous bear. The toy proves his master correct by stabbing Richard in the hand. Jack saves Dawn from Benny as Richard saves his hand from that knife. The 3 of them escape and lock.
They do that shit in like movies where it's like, oh, this and that, and then the rest of the characters are like, bro, you're full of shit, and then that's where the scene ends. It's like, that's so annoying. Like you're just waiting for whatever the hell that is to like act up, and it doesn't do shit.
The lounge door behind them, condemning these 10 co-workers to certain death. They're murdered by Benny in another sort of montage, but this one doesn't have a needle drop. It's more focused on the slaughter. Yeah, it's kind of fun. And bloody. Damn, that bear is savage. In the end, Benny doesn't leave any of the 10 co-workers alive. Jack, Dawn, and Richard retreat to Jack's house and try to figure out a plan. Richard's not optimistic.
This is your time and odd, man. Your time and odd.
If you didn't catch it, that's the game over line from Aliens.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Richard says it in French.
This is your time and odd, man. Your time and odd.
Because he's been saying French shit the whole movie. This follows an earlier reference to Sigourney Weaver's famous line from the same film.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Get away from her, you bitch!
Jack also quotes Terminator in this scene.
I knew that.
He can't be bargained with. He doesn't feel pity or remorse.
It can't be bargained with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse.
Together, they come to the inevitable conclusion. The only way they'll stop Benny is with a montage. Are you fucking kidding me? This thing is officially more montage than movie. I mean, the second their gearing up montage ends, Benny gets one of his own by making weapons out of things he steals from the mall.
Shit, Terminator. Connor. That's the start of Connor Cities.
Once again, though, gotta respect the subtle-ish horror reference here, as Benny evokes Freddy from the OG Nightmare. Benny gains entry to Jack's house through the waterways, popping his little head out of the shitter. Benny, you nasty. At the same time, Dawn finds a gift made out to her from Benny. It's her daddy-killing doll from childhood, Amy. And now Amy wants to bring a sunset to Dawn. The Amy toy was one of the lowest tech efforts of the film. It was simply a doll they moved around with a hand off screen. All the robots, on the other hand, were completely CG, and of course, all designed and rendered by Holt. He motion captured his own movements using 2 Xbox Kinects, which he used because they were able to capture death. The more you know. Jack finds Benny, who backflips out of the way of a fire attack. Jack sicks his new toy on Benny, a robot, giving us not a montage, but an all-out toy fight! Great animation and direction to this battle between 2 things that don't actually exist. This is clearly the part of filmmaking that Carl Holt most excels at. Dude would kill it as a dedicated visual effects artist. Benny finishes the fight with a frying pan and a sigh, securing himself a victory. Richard is still around, and he's got his own opponent, Roscoe, his award-winning robot. Richard rejected him in an earlier scene, saying the toy was old news.
Roscoe is so last year.
Roscoe gets his revenge when he kills Richard in a nasty way, slicing open his abdomen and using a vacuum to suck out his insides. Holy shit, y'all. Roscoe came to play! Jack and Dawn go back and forth in their respective toy fights until, for whatever reason, Benny and Roscoe start fighting each other. It's another well-choreographed scene between 2 toys fighting, and eventually Roscoe gets defeated thanks to some interference from Jack. The robot wheels away, and Benny stops attacking Jack. Dawn gets the best of Amy and stabs her former doll to pieces pieces. But Benny comes in while she's distracted and manages to get her at knife point. Jack says he's sorry to Benny for taking him for granted and treating him poorly, and the apology is enough to get Benny to drop the knife. The toy embraces its master with a big old Benny hug, and with a kiss on the nose and one last little memory montage, Jack prepares to do what needs to be done. Before he can stab Benny though, Dawn saves the toy? What the fuck? Why would she even do that? Then Benny grabs the knife and jumps over Dawn, crashing through the window and landing in front of those two cops. They use a couple of airsoft guns to shoot Benny down in a dramatic depiction that's funny thanks to the intense sound design. In the end, the injured Benny lands next to a distraught Jack. The two of them fade out into a picture being packed by Jack 2 months later. He's finally leaving his house to move in together with Dawn, and the police agree to cover for him since it'd be weird to explain the whole Benny thing. The movie ends with a shot of Roscoe and Todd, just in case they want to make a sequel.
You're special.
Oh, wait, almost forgot about the post-credits scene. It shows Tara still stuck in the attic, having finally succumbed to hunger and skeletonitis, the bastard disease.
Tarantula?
How many bodies did Benny hypocritically throw away? Let's grab 18, him and find out by getting to the numbers. Where did he go? Oh God! Oh!
Wait. I saw something I wanted to talk about earlier. Is it on here? No, here it is, the fucking Leprechaun. Y'all ever watch that movie? It's like Jeepers Creepers. Those were like one of the 2 movies that were like really fascinating.
God!
Not even scary. I would just say, like really just, I don't know.
Damn it, Benny! We already did that bit with Chucky! By my count, 18 people died in Benny Loves You. There were 10 male victims and 8 female victims, a nearly even pie chart because stuffed animals are for everyone. With a runtime of 94 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 5.22 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Richard. The smarmy secondary antagonist needs to have a solid death, and he did. This thing does not suck on so many levels, only one. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Tara, who was forgotten in the attic until she became a bastard Skelly. And that's it. Benny Loves You first premiered in 2019 and had a wider release this year in 2021. Though it has plenty of issues, I'm proud of Carl Holt for achieving his childhood dream. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
The time has come for Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I've been there, yeah, I need that. Need to speed, the need to party, the need to call me all night, long nights, blinded lights, life fast like too fast.